brighter future. All we need to do is take it.
Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. What if I told you that everything we think we know about the upcoming spin-off Vaught Rising is completely wrong? Like, what if it's not actually a prequel at all? I know. It's been marketed as this retro, gritty 1950s and 60s origin story about Soldier Boy and Stormfront, back when she went by Clara Vaught. But after that absolutely unhinged series finale of The Boys, after all the weird little breadcrumbs, the massive open-ended character arcs, and the corporate chess pieces being moved around, there's just no way Amazon is building an entire new show just to give us a history lesson. No shot. Get ready, because today we are diving deep into a theory that completely changes the game. I think Vaught Rising is pulling a massive fast one on us. It might start in the past, but it's quietly transforming into the actual official sequel to The Boys. So grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's talk about how the future of this universe is hiding right there in the past.
God blessed us with these extraordinary heroes.
The breadcrumbs were everywhere. Okay, let's look at the evidence, because the writers weren't exactly being subtle if you know where to look. The Boys basically spent its final season quietly laying the groundwork for this new series. They didn't do it with giant, flashing neon signs, but through these incredibly specific lore drops. The biggest one? The introduction of V1. Up until recently, we always thought Compound V was just Compound V, but we learned the very first, unadulterated version of the serum, the stuff running through the veins of OG soups like Soldier Boy and Clara Vaught, is a completely different beast. It doesn't just give you superpowers. It dramatically slows down your aging, and more importantly, it might make the user completely immune to the soup-killing virus. Think about why that matters for a second. It means these characters aren't just relics bound to the history books. They are biologically built to survive into the modern day. And that brings us to the most suspicious death in the entire franchise, Stormfront. Remember back in Season 2 when Ryan absolutely cooked her with his laser vision? She looked like a human chicken nugget, but she survived. Homelander kept her hidden away in his apartment. And then later, we got a random news report saying she committed suicide by biting her tongue off, supposedly. But if there is one golden rule in comic books and superhero storytelling, it's this: if you don't see a body, they are not dead. And guess what? When Soldier Boy found out about her death, his literal reaction was, "Did you see a body? Come on." That is pure writer speak for, "Hey audience, look over here. She's totally still alive." Why would they bother creating an entire spin-off centered around Clara Vaught if she has zero relevance to the present day? It makes so much more sense if she's currently locked away in some top-secret, highly secure Vaught bunker, being rebuilt and waiting for her moment to strike.
Homelander, the world's most prominent superhero, was killed today.
The Homelander family tree gets way darker. Now, if Clara Vaught and Soldier Boy are both functional in the modern era, it opens the door to a theory that is so deeply disturbing, it's almost guaranteed to be true because, well, it's the Boys. We already know Homelander's biological father is Soldier Boy. That's established canon. Vaught used his genetic material to create the perfect corporate superhero in a lab. But whose eggs did they use? What if the random woman who gave birth to Homelander was just a surrogate, and the actual genetic mother was Clara Vaught? Just let that sink in for a second. If Clara is Homelander's biological mother, suddenly a lot of incredibly weird, uncomfortable things from Season 2 click into place. Think about Stormfront's utter obsession with Homelander. It wasn't just a political alliance. She was completely fixated on his superior genetics. She wanted to build a twisted, Aryan super race with him. Now, does the gross, incestuous nature of their past relationship make this absolutely horrifying? Yes, 100%. But let's be honest with ourselves. Is that too dark for this franchise? Absolutely not. This is the show that gave us Hairgasm and a guy who can shrink down to explore, well, you know, psychological horror and deeply dysfunctional family dynamics are their bread and butter. Thematically, it fits Homelander's character perfectly. The guy has had massive, unresolved mommy issues since day one. First, with Madeline Stillwell, then with Stormfront herself. He has this desperate, childlike need for maternal approval. Imagine the sheer, world-shattering existential dread he would face discovering that his lover was actually his biological mother. It's exactly the kind of twisted, Shakespearean tragedy this writer's room loves to cook up.
I didn't choose you over him.
Mother's Milk, Ryan, and the future chaos. Let's talk about how the characters fit into this post-apocalypse Vaught landscape. Did you notice how the final episodes of the main show went out of their way to pair up Mother's Milk and Ryan? That wasn't just a random creative choice. That pairing is a ticking time bomb. MM has deep, generational trauma and unfinished business with Soldier Boy. Ryan has severe, unresolved trauma connected to Stormfront. Picture this scenario. Stan Edgar, who is the ultimate corporate cockroach and always finds a way to survive, manages to claw his way back to the top and reclaim control of a fractured Vought International. But during the chaos, he discovers a horrifying truth. Stormfront is awake, and she has found a way to break Soldier Boy out of his radioactive slumber. These aren't corporate trained, media-friendly soups like the Seven. These are the original unhinged Vought monsters, and they don't care about stock prices or public relations. They want to reclaim the empire for themselves. Their version of Vought. Suddenly, Stan Edgar realizes he is completely outmatched. So who does he call? The one guy who hates Soldier Boy more than anyone alive, Mother's Milk. That is pure storytelling gold. And then we have Ryan. A lot of fans think Ryan's story is up in the air because of how ambiguous his power status is. But let's think about the biology here. Unlike every other soup on Earth, Ryan wasn't injected with Compound V in a laboratory. He was born naturally. The compound is literally baked into his DNA on a cellular level. He is Compound V. So even if his powers seem suppressed or gone temporarily, his body is highly likely to regenerate them over time. If Ryan gets his powers back, he isn't just a powerful kid anymore. He becomes the ultimate centerpiece of the entire franchise, the son of Homelander, the grandson of Soldier Boy, and potentially the grandson of Stormfront. He is a walking, talking family apocalypse.
I want to be a hero.
Bringing back the main crew and a wild comic twist. If this theory holds up, it gives a perfect, organic reason for the rest of our favorite characters to get dragged right back into the mud. Take Kimiko, for instance. We know Soldier Boy's chest blast has the unique ability to burn Compound V right out of a soup system. If MM is putting together a strike team to take down these ancient, virus-immune V1 soups, Kimiko is the ultimate secret weapon. You can bet Starlight and Huey wouldn't be far behind, especially if they find out Ryan is caught in the crossfire. But okay, before we wrap things up, I have to share one more absolutely wild theory with you guys. It involves a massive twist from the original comic books that the TV show never got to use, the Homelander clone. In the comics, Black Noir is secretly a clone of Homelander created by Vought as a failsafe in case the original ever went completely rogue. Obviously, the TV show went a completely different direction with Black Noir. But what if the writers didn't abandon that concept? What if they just saved it for Vought Rising? Imagine a secret underground laboratory where Vought has been growing a backup Homelander. But here's the twist. This clone isn't evil. He doesn't have the deep-seated psychological trauma that ruined the original. He actually wants to be a genuine, good hero. But because he looks exactly like the world's greatest mass murderer, he has to hide his face behind a mask. Think about how incredible that would be for the audience. We'd go into the show thinking, oh, classic Vought. They just recast Black Noir with another actor for a PR stunt, only to get hit with the ultimate reveal. Plus, it would give Antony Starr the chance to play a completely different, heroic, and empathetic character, which would be an absolute masterclass to watch. Our nerdy thoughts. At the end of the day, I think a lot of people are massively underestimating what Vaught Rising is going to be. It's being treated like a fun, retro side project to pass the time. But this universe is too big, and Amazon loves it too much to just let it fade into a simple history lesson. The title says it all. It's not called Vought Remembered. It's not called The History of Vought. It's called Vaught Rising. It implies action. It implies a comeback. It means that just when the world thinks the nightmare of the soups is finally over, the empire rises again. But hey, what do you guys think? Am I overanalyzing a few minor details? Or do you think we are actually looking at the secret blueprint for the next era of the boys? Drop your wildest theories in the comments down below. I want to read all of them. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay ahead of the curve on all things sci-fi and superhero lore, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Maybe I could help.
No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.